Hello students, welcome you all to the computer graphics lecture. Today we are starting with the topic hidden surfaces from unit 4. In unit 2 we have learned about windowing and clipping. If a whole scene is stored in the object space using the world coordinate system, windowing tells us how to select a particular portion of that scene so that it can be displayed in the viewport of the display device using the device coordinate system. And clipping tells us how to remove the portions which fall outside the window portions. In last chapter, we have learned about the projections, by which we can understand how to actually display the objects in the display device. Especially, we have learned about perspective projections, which made the constructed objects looking more realistic. Now, all these algorithms, they works on objects. That means we have selected a particular object and checked whether it should be inside the window, whether it should be clipped, how it should be projected, right? That way. But for a real life scene, one scene will consist of multiple objects. Now, among these multiple objects, some objects will be fully visible, some objects will be obscure, partially visible, or totally invisible if they are hidden behind some other objects. So for a more realistic display, we need to draw only those objects or part of objects which can be seen. We don't want to draw the objects which are not visible or which are hidden. Now the problem is what is visible and what is hidden. Before starting, just tell me whether the view will always be same. Suppose we are designing a game of treasure hunt where we have having one palace. The palace is surrounded by one boundary wall, and outside the boundary wall we are having the path, road. Some treasure hunter is walking along the road. So which portion can he see? He or she can see the boundary wall only, right? So if my point of view is from the road, then I can only see the boundary wall. Now suppose that treasure hunter climbs up the wall and he or she is sitting over the wall. Now which portion can he or she can see? The portion between the actual palace wall and the boundary wall. There may be some statues, some trees, some ponds, like that. Again, when he will enter the palace through the entrance door, then only we can see the inside of the palace. So depending upon the point of view, the display view will change. So if the point of view is changed, different view of the object would be same, but the whole scene will be stored in the object space, right? Thus, the surfaces that are blocked or hidden from view must be removed in order to construct a realistic view. The identification and removal of those hidden surfaces is called the hidden surface problem or hidden surface removal. So if we consider the scene, we are having one 3D conic polyhedra, one sphere and one cube. So this portion of the cube that is not visible because that is hidden behind the sphere. Similarly, this portion of the sphere is not visible because that is hidden behind this conic structure. So in this topic, we will learn how to identify such surfaces and how to remove them. Suppose we are having one box on one cube like this. We have drawn all the edges of this one. So can I say whether this is the front face or the rear face? So if this is my original picture, I can interpret this way as well, or I can interpret it this way as well, right? So this way also we can say I can see only this face. This is also possible, and no front face is there at all, right? Or I can say this is one enclosed one, right? So for determining the hidden surfaces, the problem of hidden surface removal is solved by applying different hidden surface algorithms. Now, these algorithms are broadly categorized into two approaches. One is the object space methods, another is the image space methods. From the name, it is evident in the object space methods, the surfaces are removed in the object space, in the world coordinate system, in the original scene. So if we are having, basically it is device independent, right? So if we want to display the same scene in multiple devices, I can perform the operation only in the object space and then display it into the different display devices, right? So screen resolution of different devices, those are irrelevant here. On the other hand, in the image space methods, what will we do? The visibility will be decided point by point at each pixel position on the projection plane. So basically this is implemented in the device coordinate system. And as we are checking each pixel position, we can see that screen resolutions, they are a major component here. What is the problem with this approach? Suppose the resolution of the screen is changed. Then again we have to run this algorithm and calculate the results, right? Or another thing is, if we are reproducing the same scene in multiple devices, for each device we have to determine the hidden surfaces and the visible surfaces. Basically in this method, what we do, we determine which polygon is closest to the viewer at that particular pixel location. For example, this one, for this particular pixel location where my pointer is pointing, I am having two objects. One is the green color sphere and the yellow color conic structure, right? So my conic structure, that is more closer, so I will draw that one. I will not draw the sphere. Okay, so that is the way it works. Now we can say that theoretically object space algorithms requires less work, because once it is done, it can be applied for all the devices, right? So most algorithms should be implemented in object space, but in practice that is not the case. Image space algorithms are more efficient. Why? Because it is easier to take advantage of the coherence in raster scan implementation. What is coherence? Coherence means using the local similarities or making use of the results calculated for one part of the scene for the nearby parts. So if I am determining for this particular pixel position, using the incremental method, I will be determining the visibility of the next pixel position. So that is the idea of the cohesion, and mostly image space methods are used in real life. The different types of coherences are there, basically 6 types of. One is the object coherence, another is the phase coherence, another is the edge coherence, next one is the scan line coherence, next one is the depth coherence, and finally the frame coherence. Okay. Some well-known algorithms are in object space method, we are having backface detection method, Painter's algorithm, Roberts algorithm, etc. In image space method, we are having area subdivision method or the Warnock's algorithm, then depth buffer or the J buffer method, ray tracing method, scanline method, octree method, etc. Out of this, we will be studying these 4 algorithms marked in bold for our syllabus. In our next video, I will be back with the backface detection method.